Hello everybody, welcome back to the video today. Today we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. And my oh my guys, let me tell you, my experience with this game was just impeccable. I mean, it was literally one of my most, or not if the most, influential game of my life. I know I'm young, and so of course, there'll be definitely many more games, but this is definitely one of my favorite games ever, if not my favorite game of all time at the moment. And today I'm going to be reviewing what this game is. Is it good? Should you buy it? And of course, the quick answer is yes, you should buy it if you're a Spider-Man fan, or even if you're not a Spider-Man fan and just like a good story game. This is something that you'd be interested in. It has amazing combat, amazing gameplay, and the game just looks beautiful itself. Um, anyways, this is Spider-Man 2, and right now I'm gonna have background footage of me from my streams playing the game, showing you guys what I was going through, having the cutscenes and the gameplay going in the background, things like that, as I talk through this video. It's gonna be a little bit of spoilers. I will definitely spoil near the end of the video, but as you can see from the gameplay in the background, it is just going to be the first hour hour of gameplay. This video is not gonna be an hour long, but that's what the gameplay is from. It's literally the first mission of the game. So everyone's kind of seen that, I hope. But if not, of course, this does have spoilers. So if you just would rather listen to the audio, pull it up another tab so you don't see any of the gameplay. But, you've been warned. Okay, so first I'm going to start out with the game story. The game story is, so it takes place, I think it's a couple years after the first game, and like a year after the second game, which is the Miles game. I think that's how it is. I'm not too sure, I can't confirm, but it does take at least a year or two after that. So Miles and Peter have both been Spider-Man now and been working together for a while. And and in the beginning of the game, they're working together, and as you can see here in this cutscene, you have Peter. He's got his teaching job. Miles is a student. So I'm not gonna go too much into spoilers right now, but that's kind of where the game sets you off. Is Peter and Miles have been doing this together for multiple years now. They're both pretty much experienced Spider-Man. Obviously, Peter, the super experienced Spidey, and Miles has now got a couple years under his belt as being Spider-Man. So, what is the main, plot of this game? Well, main plot is Harry comes back, and that is the main plot device for this game. So, like in the first one, it was with Peter, Doc Ock, and Norman. Now, the big, plot device in this game is bringing back Peter's best friend, Harry. And it is a emotional roller coaster. But before I go back to story, I'm gonna get to the gameplay of this game. Now, in a few moments here, you're gonna see the game, and well, let me just tell you, I mean, this game runs beautifully on the PS5. There's many options you can choose from for settings wise of how you want your game to look. So there are three options, I believe. There is performance mode, which performance mode is going to be the game's going to run at 60 frames a second, but not everything. It's going to have a little bit of less detailed world, buildings if you're not close to them. Like, for example, when you're swinging, the buildings that are far away in the distance, they won't be as detailed as they were if you had it in fidelity mode. But to me personally, it doesn't bother me whether or not you have fidelity mode on or performance mode on. It really is just depending on the player. When I played this game, I played it with two of my buddies at the same time when I first streamed it, and we all played on different settings. I played on performance mode. My buddy, or actually, did I play in performance mode? I think I did. I'm pretty sure. I played on performance mode. My friend played on, fidelity mode, but there's two options for fidelity mode. If your TV or monitor supports 120 hertz, you can play on the fidelity mode / performance mode, is what I like to call it, where it's the best of both worlds. You get the fidelity, right? So it looks great, as good as it can with the fidelity. You know, it looks amazing. You got all the reflections, all that stuff. And instead of getting 30 frames, you get 40 frames. So it is like in between of the basic fidelity mode, which is the super detailed world. Everything's got a little extra oomph to it, you know, and it's running at 30 frames. This one you get 10 extra frames plus all the bonus of the great looks. Me personally, I prefer gameplay. I prefer my game to look or feel good. So the game looks beautiful still on what's it called? On performance mode. So really, if you're not someone who is always looking at graphics and stuff, this game will still look amazing no matter what setting you play it on. Whether you play it on the super high quality setting or you play it on a little bit, or like I said, if you prefer the frames. So yeah, I mean, all the cutscenes, dude, the cutscenes are just fucking amazing. The boss fights are all amazing in this game. Oh my god, it is definitely a huge step up from the first game. You're gonna see here throughout this video, you're gonna see me fighting Sandman, which is the first boss of the game. And just from this fight alone, it's better than the Doc Ock fight. The final boss of the first game is nothing compared to this boss in this game, this first one. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm gonna make a tier list for sure later on what is my favorite boss fights in the game. But for now, I'm just gonna tell you that all of them are much better than all the other ones in the first game, and that is a plus. Now, let's go on to the swinging. The swinging is the same as or I guess, what's it called? Traversal, there you go. So, the swinging is the same. You know, they have new swinging animations plus mixed in with some of the old ones, but you know, all of them look amazing. The swinging still feels amazing. The game it's just perfect. But now with the traversal, they have added two new things, or at least I like to think two new things, or a couple, not two specifically, but I would say a couple new options for your enjoyment. So you have your web wings, which everyone knows. I mean, you see the trailer, you see the web wings. All you do is when you're in your swinging or you're in the air at any point, you press triangle and your character pulls out the web wings. Now the web wings are very useful. The default settings is if you press the stick down, they go up, and if you press the stick up, you go down. You can switch it if you want to, but I just got used to it, so it's really good. But yeah, so the web wings, they work kind of like Batman's glide in Arkham City, where you need speed to really use it, because, well, if you don't have speed, you kind of just fall down. But it's not hard to get speed at all in this game. The speed in this game is much, and I mean much, faster than it was in the first game. There's a whole skill tree to upgrade speed. It's like 15%, 20%, like it gets pretty high up there. So you will be, at the end of the game, even in the beginning of the game, just zooming by the city faster than you would in the first game whatsoever. They still have the boosts and stuff from like Miles' game, where if you remember in the Miles game, you could press L1 X in the air and he would do the jump, or if you press L1 triangle, I think he does like the dash forward. So Peter and Miles both have that. Miles is the same, with the same Venom dash and jump, while Peter, depending on what suit you have equipped. So if it's any non-symbiote suit, he has the spider arms that shoot him up or shoot him forward, and if you have a symbiote suit equipped, the symbiote pushes him up or shoots you forward. I'll get to the symbiote suit in a bit, but it's amazing. Anyways, back to the traversal. So the web wings are an immediately great addition. Now, I thought to myself, if you add the web wings, what is the point of swinging? Well, it's a mix, because it does feel like at some points you do feel like, oh, I don't need to swing. But when you realize you don't have the speed, or if you're not hitting like one of these vents, so there's a couple of different vents. There's the wind tunnels that just boost you forward, give you insane speed. There's the air vents that are blowing up, and then I think that's it. I think it's either just a vent that blows up so you get to move up, so like gives you a height boost, or what's it called? They give you the speed boost, which is the wind tunnels. So yeah, you know, but the web wings and a mix of the swinging is just amazing. Like, and then the boost with the spider arms or the venom dash, venom jump. It's beautiful, bro. You know, and then another thing is, so we get to the second part, which is the slingshot. The slingshot is amazing. The slingshot allows you can do it from anywhere in the map. So in the trailer, you can see there's a place called Super Slingshot, and then there's like a slingshot. So the Super Slingshot, I believe, in my personal opinion, does shoot you way farther than any normal slingshot does. To get a normal slingshot, it's in the skill tree, in the shared skill tree. There's 3 of them. There's a Peter one, a Miles one, and then a shared skill tree. The shared skill tree is like basic combos that both Spider-Man can do, and then traversal stuff, and like air tricks. So the super slingshot that you go like on certain points in the map, you hold L2 and X, and then your character, whether you're playing as Peter or Miles, they sling, they shoot their webs, they pull back on the slingshot, and then whenever you release, you just get this insane boost of speed. It launches you forward far as hell, and literally every time you do it, 90% of the time, you're gonna slingshot, and then you're gonna pop your web wings, and you are gonna be flying fast as fuck. I'm telling you, if you are playing the game right now and have not unlocked that ability, what are you doing? You need to get it. So the only difference is between that one and the super slingshot is just the super slingshot is at dedicated spots, and it does feel like it goes a little bit faster, while the regular slingshot, you still go super fast, but it's not as fast as the super. Or at least, sorry. At least I think that's how it is. But yeah. So those are the 2 new traversal things. I guess the third one I was gonna tell you about, which is, it allows you to, when you're swinging around a corner and you want to turn, you usually in the first game would have to just turn with your body and your web. In this game, as soon as you hit a corner, once you unlock the ability in the skill tree, I think it's you hold left stick and circle at the same time, and it just slings you around the corner. Like, your character shoots a web and yeets themselves around the corner, so you still keep your speed, is the point. So yeah, it's pretty good. Then you have, let's see here. So let's talk about, so we talked about the traversal. Let's talk about the combat. So the combat is very similar. Of course, I mean, you know, they've already mastered the combat in the first game. Why would they change it, right? So, the combat is very similar in the sense of it does the same thing where it's the, you know, your square. Square is the attack button, circle is the dodge button, triangle is your web strike, X is your jump, yada yada yada. Though I'm not complaining, because I love the combat in the first game, and if you love the combat in the first game, you're gonna love the combat in this game, and if you love the combat in the Miles game, you're gonna love the combat in this game. So, what new things did they add? So each character has abilities. They have, so just like how Miles, right, in his game, he had his Venom Punch, he had his Venom Strike, his Venom Slam, his Venom Boost Jump, where like he would slam or jump up and all the enemies would jump over him. In this game, Peter and Miles both have abilities. So in the bottom left, when like, I think in this gameplay you've already seen it, or you'll see it later when they go into like a building, you'll see that Pete and Miles have this little dial on the left side and a little dial on the right side. So the one on the left is going to be your abilities. So it's L1 plus something. So whether it's square, triangle, circle, or X, it's one of those 4. And then the same thing on the right side, it's going to be R1, square, triangle, X, or circle. So the right side is going to be all your gadgets. In this game, you have 4 gadgets, and that's it. So you have 4 gadgets. Those 4 gadgets are going to be your web line, or sorry, no, not web line, sorry, your web pull, which pulls all the enemies together. A little, like, it's called, like, I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's like a little blast where you press R1 triangle and it shoots out a little web gadget that shoots at enemies and then shoots them up into the air, and then you can combo from there. Then you have the concussive blast, or later upgraded to the sonic blast. Just stuns enemies, and certain type of enemies it definitely stuns later in the game. I will get to that in a minute. And then your last one, which is the, like, it's like a faster, so you have your regular web shooters, right? So the regular web shooters are just R1, 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 R1. So you just tap, 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 and then they shoot their webs. Then there's one, it's called like the web repeater, where it does that, where if you spam R1, you know how you shoot your webs just super fast? That's basically what it does for you, but in the touch of a single button, instead of you having to touch multiple, or instead of you having to spam the button. You know what I'm saying? So that one's pretty nice. So your abilities are on your left side, and you're gonna have 4 abilities. Now, Miles and Peter have 8 abilities in total, but you can only have 4 selected at a time. Well, technically, actually, Peter has 10 abilities. Miles has 8. So let me get to them. So in the beginning of the game, Miles is going to have all his Venom abilities. His Venom abilities are going to be like the yellow ones from the first game, where it's the punch, it's the chase, it's the slam, and it's the bring everyone up. He has the same 4 abilities. Peter has his spider arms, so he's got this punch where, like, he activates it, it's L1 square, and he goes like boom, 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 and does like a crazy barrage of punches. Then he has his R1 triangle, which is like I think that one, oh, that one's my favorite. He webs to a wall, and then he does a spin forward, like he pulls himself forward and does like a big spin, and whatever he knocks in front of him and it gets slammed into that same wall gets webbed up immediately. It's pretty good. Then he has the R1 circle, which I think is my least favorite, which is his arms extend out and shoot enemies with lasers. It gets upgraded later on in the game, and you can shoot more enemies, but, you know, I think it's okay. And then you have Peter's final ability, which is going to be his R1X, L1X. His L1X is very unique. Basically, he webs one enemy, brings him towards him, uses the arms, and then kind of kicks him up into the air so you can do air combo. And when you upgrade it, he does the same thing, but he brings enemies in a 360 radius around him all into the air instead of one guy. So it's pretty good. It kind of just stuns everyone, brings them up in the air, and then, yeah, you get to do a free combo. Now, you have your 2 other abilities, which is going to be the other sets of abilities. So Miles in this game gets enhanced Venom abilities. Now, he thinks it's because of Lee. I'll tell you guys that in a bit. He thinks it's because of the Martin Lee, but it's not. Or I mean, maybe it is. I'm not sure, but I believe it's the stress and emotion Miles goes through to do such a thing. So, as I was saying, the abilities that Miles gets is an evolved version of his Venom abilities. So I'm not going to get into too much detail on how he gets each one. It's all unlocked throughout the story for both of them, is how they all get new abilities. So Miles gets a blue electricity power upgrade instead of his normal yellow one. So his blue electricity gets all strong, and so then he gets 4 new abilities. The first one is your chain lightning. It's pretty obvious in the name. He shoots at one enemy and it chains into other people. Then he has a teleport, which basically he jumps up and then he slams onto the ground in a 360 area and kind of just electrocutes everyone. His third ability is, I don't remember what it's called, but he basically, in a 360 radius, basically like pulses out a bunch of electricity and then brings everyone in that he hits, and he brings everyone into him and they all get stunned, and yeah, it's all good damage. His last one is a Superman, or like a not Superman, like a Ryu uppercut, where he gets a ball of lightning in his fist and he uppercuts someone, and then he gets launched into the air, and when you go attack that guy who got uppercutted, everyone else after him, or when you hit him, he shoots bolts of lightning to other enemies and it damages them. So it's pretty cool. Peter gets the symbiote suit in this game, which, I mean, I think we all know this, and, you know, from the trailer. Peter gets the symbiote suit, and he gets 4 abilities. So he gets a Venom Slam, or a Symbiote Slam, which he basically... in the beginning, it's like maximum of 4 enemies, but when you upgrade it, it goes to as many enemies as you see in front of you. And he grabs all the enemies, pulls them up, and then slams them into the ground. Sick. Then you have the Rush, which he launches up into the air, gets into a ball of venom, and then runs into the person and then shoots him up. It's pretty cool. And then you have the Venom Punch, which is basically his arm gets coated with a bunch of symbiote, and then targets one specific enemy, does a lot of damage, and slams them into a wall. And then you have the Circle ability, which is a Venom Outburst, where basically in a 360 radius, he explodes and a bunch of tendrils come out of him in a 360 radius and blowing everyone away. Sick. The other 2 abilities he gets a Venom Ball, where he forms a ball of symbiote in his hand, does like a little jump, a 360 jump, and then throws it at the ground and explodes. Then he gets a Venom Tempest, where he shoots everyone up into the air with like his tendrils, and then does like a little spin and then blows out a bunch of tendrils in a 360 radius and then just knocks everyone out. Sick as shit. They're all great, and yeah, they're amazing. Peter and Miles also have 2 abilities. It's the left stick and the right stick. If you click it at the same time, you guys should know Miles is the same from the first game. It's a big 360 radius of an explosion. Peter's is the Symbiote Rage, where he gets crazy, gets stupid mad, and wants to kill everyone. And so you get this super crazy mode where after 2 hits on any enemy that's like a basic or like a basic enemy, whether it's the flying birds, the dogs, or the Craven Hunters, they get knocked out in like a finisher almost. So it's pretty sick. And then yeah, I mean, that's all the abilities that I can think of right now. But yeah, and then all the gadgets, Peter and Miles share the same gadgets, so there's no new gadgets. They really simplified it. It's really good. I liked how they made it really easy and not complicated, and the wheel isn't like, it doesn't stop you from gameplay. It's really nice. And yeah, so let's talk about the next part, which is the partner system. So in some missions, in some story missions, you're going to have a partner. And in some side missions, you're going to have a partner. And sometimes when you're fighting around the city or you're doing a basic crime, either Peter or Miles, depending on which whenever you're playing as, the opposite Spider-Man will come and join you. Either he'll already be there or he'll come and join you to help you out and play, or not play, and fight the criminals and save the day. It's really good, and you get to do these cool little team finishers, and then after the end, at least for the crime ones, you get to do like this little like cool posing thing. And I just want to let you guys know, it's not always Miles that's there. Depending on where you are in the story, it can be someone else, or if you're doing a side quest and you've already unlocked to that character, it can be that person. I'm not going to say who yet, say later in my a little bit deeper analysis of the story. But yeah, I think not this video, but I'm gonna save my story analysis for the next video, which I do, which is reviewing the story. This is just a basic review, so the gameplay, you know, what it's like, this and that, and all that good stuff. So yeah, anyways, besides all of that, I just want to say the game is amazing. You know, the story is a 10 out of 10 for me. It is short. it is short. The first game is definitely, I think, longer by like a couple hours. But with the amount of story they told, this game, honestly, is better. Like, this game is 100 times better than the first one, by far. And that's not even a joke. It's amazing, you know? And, yeah. I just think this is the best part of Spider-Man 2, is the story. The story... I mean, of course, the gameplay and everything, but the story just completely washes the first game out. Not to say that the first game is bad, but, like, you play the first game, and you go, this is Spider-Man. And then you play the second game, and you go, no, this is Spider-Man. Craven, 10 out of 10. Venom, 10 out of 10. Lizard, 8 out of 10. I did want to see a little bit more, but for what they did show, it was a 10 out of 10. The only thing I didn't like for him was the little end, the end. His, like, last couple cutscenes. But anyway, besides that, like I said, it's not a story discussion. I just want to let you know, story in this game is a 10 out of 10. Gameplay in this game is a 10 out of 10. The game looks a 10 out of 10. So, I could ramble on for hours and hours telling you every minute detail of every side quest, and the mystery villains in this game. And there is literally a side quest in this game, which I won't get into because this is a non-spoiler review. But there's a side quest in this game where when you are playing it, and in the beginning you're just like, oh, these are just some random villains. I have no idea who these are. It doesn't get nuts until the last mission, and when you do that last mission, that is the last mission. Like, you don't get a good conclusion, but it's not a bad thing. Like, it's a, oh god, I need to see what happens next conclusion. So either it's got to be DLC, or it's in the third game. We don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, this is nuts. It literally goes from, oh, it's just a game, it's just another bad guy, to, no, this shit just got serious. But anyways, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought. Oh, actually, before I end this, all the suits in this game, there's so many suits in this game for Peter. I think there's 34 suits for each character, which is like 72 suits or something, like 78 suits. And then plus all the styles you have for each suit. Now, obviously not every suit has a style, because there's a lot of movie tie-in suits in this game. Like, Peter has a lot of movie tie-in suits, whether it's MCU or non-MCU suits. And same for Miles. MCU suits or non-MCU suits. Well, actually, sorry, Miles doesn't have any MCU suits, but he does have, like, the Spider-Verse suits. I'll tell you right now, Miles has all 3 Spider-Verse suits. He's got the 2 of them from the first movie, which is the classic one, not the one, the black and red, not the with the hoodie though. The other one from the first movie that he has is where he's in, like, the Spider-Man costume that he bought at the Stan Lee store with the cape. That's the one he also has, plus his Across the Spider-Verse one, which looks better in my opinion. But yeah, so he has all 3 of those. Peter has the Spider-Man Noir suit from the Spider-Verse movie. Looks fantastic. And then yeah, Peter's suits are just amazing, and Miles's too. There's obviously some suits that everyone's gonna love and hate. I do plan on doing a tier list, but yeah, all the suits in this game are a 10 out of 10, or at least the suit selection is a 10 out of 10. Not every suit is a 10 out of 10 for me, and I think that's how it's gonna be for everyone. But every option, the amount of options you have, is a 10 out of 10, and all the different color variations, a 10 out of 10. There's a lot of suits in this game, and I've unlocked everyone, and I'll do a tier list, and I will tell you guys how that goes. But yeah, I think that's the last thing I wanted to cover, which was the suits. The customization in this game, whether it comes to what abilities you can use, which ones you want to use, how your character looks, to how he takes battle damage. The battle damage suits look amazing to compared to the freaking amount of combos you can do, to the new gameplay, fighting mechanics to the new traversal mechanics, the mixture of the web slinging, the web wings, the zipping, and everything. The fast travel, I didn't even touch on the fast travel. The fast travel is the best thing in a game so far. You literally go, once you unlock the fast travel system in this game, there's 14 districts. You have to complete each district to level 2. Once you get each district to level 2, anywhere in that district you can instantly fast travel to. The loading screen is you holding the button to fast travel. Once you have completed that bar, whoever you're playing as just zips over there, and it is fucking nuts. But yeah, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And remember, Spider-Man 2 PS5 is available for everyone to purchase at this moment, whether you want it digitally or physically. No one judges here. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell me your favorite suit, your favorite part of the game, whether it's story, gameplay, combat, swinging, traversal, the photo mode, anything. This, which character do you like more? Tell me. I would love to start a conversation with you. And thank you very much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time, and stay tuned for more Spider-Man 2 content on the channel. Peace out. Bye-bye.